Hi traders, welcome. Today I'm going to walk you over through an example of how I use all my volume profile and order flow tools in order to identify good areas for reversals. We're going to use specifically session volume profiles, footprint charts with volume and delta, and also the book map to look at the heat map and the resting liquidity and go over how there was a really nice reversal coming off of the recent all-time highs in the S&P 500 market. As always, these are strategies that I go over in my trading courses, specifically the day trading with order flow and volume profile course, which you can check out through the link in the description. And as always, code PABT for the best prop firm discounts as well. So let's start off with the higher time frame context of this. If we zoom out, this is the hourly chart, and this is the all-time high that the ES market made on the extended trading hours right at the Europe Open on July 31st. Okay, after that, if I zoom in, you can see that the market pulled back and we started holding a support area here, and we had a push up, but then literally right at 9:30, this was during the New York Open, we had this big rejection down, which was reversed back up. And then at 10 o'clock, we really just had the push down and the start of a really bearish close to the week. You can see both Thursday and Friday were incredibly bearish days, and the big reversal came right around the 10 o'clock hour. And that's the reversal that we're going to talk about here in the context of the lower time frame. So this is my 3000 tick chart that I like to use on ES. And if we zoom in, you can see that we came and we made the all-time high pretty much right exactly around 3 a.m. right after the London Open. We started pulling back, broke below this lows here, but then we started finding support right around here. Pretty much this area was between 7 a.m. up until 9:28. So literally right before the New York Open, we started forming this support. You can see we had this trend line as well that was holding price, and we have a nice high volume node here from the overnight extended hours, and you can see some big selling delta as well at the bottom of this candle. So there was big traders trying to defend this 69, 64, 49 area, and then right at the New York Open we had the push down. We had not immediately retested this, and then we came right into the 9 o'clock into the 10 o'clock open, and that's the area we're going to analyze this reversal. Okay, and you can see here I have marked off this gray zone here. This is going to be, once we go into the footprint chart, this is the area I want you to pay attention to, because this is where we're going to focus on the order flow in this area. As when we came back here, this is the area where we started spotting a lot of high volume, aggressive buyer absorption, okay? And that was the signal that this was potentially going to be reversing. And then from there, you can see after we broke down from this area, we just pretty much continued going down for the rest of the day, okay? And, you know, even just using simple support resistance, if I draw a line from the support that we had right around the 7 o'clock hour, down broken, and now backwards test from that area, and then we found the rejection also at the bottom of the node here. Okay, so now let's go into all the charts together and we'll walk through a bookmap replay so we can see how the aggressive buyers were getting absorbed and we were spotting a potential downside reversal. Another thing to note as well, which we're gonna see later, but if you're using the cumulative delta, you can see aggressive buying consistently going up and price started printing lower highs here. So this is a clear sign of some big passive sellers absorbing all this aggressive market buying that we have going up into this significant area of support and resistance. So before we start playing the replay on bookmap, this is the scenario. This area we have right here is this area zoomed in on the footprint chart, okay? This gray box that you see here, this is the gray box coming from that support from the 7 o'clock, 7:30 hour pre-open, okay? And I highlighted this level because this, when we first came in on this first stab here, right around 9:56, 9:57, you can see we started getting some big volumes printing here. And I have this set up with the highlights that I use. Let me just expand this a little bit. Right there. So you can see we got high volume highlights at a key level. I always want to pay attention to high volumes coming in at areas of interest, sort of at like low volume node areas, the edges of high volume nodes, significant areas of supply, demand, support, resistance. So coming in here, once we start getting prints of high volumes, that's already telling me this is a significant level, because this high volumes mean that there's high liquidity resting on the order book, big orders to buy, sell, in this case, big limit orders to sell that are getting filled with aggressive traders, okay? So when we pull back again into this area, we're gonna pay a lot of attention to see if these large players are still gonna be defending those areas, okay? And here on bookmap, if I move this, you can see this gray box here. This gray box is the same area as this one here. So I just highlighted this on bookmap just to have you pay attention to that, okay? So let's hit play. I'm gonna play this at 4 times the regular speed, but you can see by the times down here and the times on the footprint. So at 9:56, we're gonna come in for our first test of this area, and you can already see here by the red highlights at 64.49, we already have some big passive limit sell orders here. We've already touched some big liquidity there. You can see big green bubbles forming now all along this area into and right here. If I pause this, you can already see 64.49, which is exactly right here. We're getting big aggressive green buyer bubbles hitting this resting limit orders, and yet price is still holding there. As we're going to see, we will have a stab up all the way into the 64.51 area, but price is going to come right back down below this levels here. So here we just stabbed right above, big aggressive volumes hitting, transacted right at the tops, so meaning some aggressive buyers already trapped above. Now we're gonna break down below. So now we get back below and look at right here. Now there's a big seller reloading at 64.49. You can see right here, if I pause, we hit the liquidity here, then the liquidity disappeared from 64.49. Not disappeared, but it was reduced a lot. We transacted, and as soon as we got back below, they load up 64.49 again with a lot of liquidity, and 64.50 as well. So you can see red and orange right at those levels. So now we're coming up on this stage, which this stage is very key, as we're going to see here. If I hit play, you can see right around the 10:02 mark, we're going to come right back to that area, and we're going to get again some big green bubbles, aggressive market buy orders coming through. Here we come. And yet, look, we're rejecting and we're getting divergences on these candles right there. We just hit 64.49 once, twice. Now 64.48.50, they're loading that area up as well. We just cleared that level right there again. 64.49 hit again, and all those absorbed, and now reloading once again. 64.49 reloaded once again. Big aggressive buying. Now 64.50, big liquidity as well. And now you can see after 10:03, we're going to start pulling back from this level once again. Okay? So right there, if I move this down, you can see all this aggressive buying we had here were all this aggressive bubbles that we have getting here. And what do you notice here? Divergence on the candles. This candle, 92 positive delta, 204 positive delta, and yet we are closing bearish on the candles below the big aggressive buying executions, okay? And this is exactly the area we're looking at on the cumulative delta as well. I know it looks very small. Let me expand this. You can see cumulative delta pushing up right at these areas, and yet price is failing to make a higher high. And then if we just continue playing this, we do have one last visit here, and we get all the way up to 64.50, right around the 10:07 mark. You can see we do actually have here, we did get a little bit of aggressive sell absorption at this bottom. You can see we got a bullish divergence candle with some big aggressive selling down at the bottom here. And then we had the little reversal, and we're now coming back once again at that area, okay? So if you're short here, you pretty much know that your stop loss should just go beyond the previous swing high here of this area of large volumes. We come right back here in this area, more aggressive buying, and yet price is failing to get through. And then right at the end, right around the 10:10 mark, you're gonna see that we just get this big candle going, and that is exactly here where cumulative delta as well is just going to turn to the downside on this move, and you can see it coming right there. Market is going to pull back, and then from there we come down, and we never come back to retest this area again for the entire session, and we start the big breakdown for the rest of the day. Okay? And here you can see we're just going to pull back. My recording is going to be over very soon. Right there. But pretty much where the recording stopped was right here, where we started printing. you can see big aggressive buying, and immediately after, this is just going to start plummeting down below this high volumes, and you can see already some high liquidity was coming in. And as soon as this broke through, this high liquidity just starts trailing price, and we get large limit sells trailing price lower and lower, defending any pullbacks that we get. Okay, but that's how, in a nutshell, I would use all my tools: footprint, volume profile, delta indicators, liquidity heat map, and book map, in order to identify potential areas of reversal. In this case, we're coming to retest a previous broken support. We are near all-time highs. Cumulative delta has been to the downside. You can see we had the aggressive sell-off right at the open. So this was pretty much a backwards retest to previous broken areas of support. And we get the confirmation here from the footprint and from bookmap, where we identify a lot of aggressive buying absorbed at these areas and keep getting defended and reloaded by big limit sellers. And then that gave way for a very bearish session for the rest of the day. Okay, so that's in a nutshell how I use some of my strategies. Of course, there's a lot of different elements and context involved. Again, if you want to learn more about this, check out my trading courses down below, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.